I'm going to use this ranch house and color this picture using a various selections and also a adjustment layers. And you can use the same method to complete the project too. You can look at it and then see how, let's pay attention to this file name. ranchhouse.jpg, that is viewed at 100%, and it says gray/8. This means that this file is a grayscale file at 8-bit information. Grayscale, we just learned it, that we need to have it in RGB color mode in order to accept any color. So I first changed this one to RGB color mode. Now this one is RGB mode, so I should be able to color this. You can color with brushes, and this is a distractive way too. And then you can color like a little kids having fun like this. But then it's just, I'm completely obscuring any information underneath. It's just the color. So that is not going to be the way we're going to work on. We will work on different type of selections. And then if you look at this, there are 1, 2, 3 selection tools. And then there are more selection tools if you hold those each selection tools, like rectangular marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool, and then also lasso tools, and there are more different lasso tools, and then here, quick selection and magic wand. Those 3 areas are the today's focus, basically. If you look at the shape of things, I will probably, and you will probably guess that the marquee tool could be probably very helpful tools to say, select certain areas like this. If you like to add more area to the selection, if you hold Shift, my cursor will have plus mark right next to it, and then I can add selection. If I like to subtract from the selection, Option, that would now give me minus, so I can subtract certain areas from the selection. Once you have the selected area, you can go to any of the adjustments. Well, since we know levels, curves, and hue and saturation, we're going to go over to these ones too. I'm going to start with levels. If I click onto levels, this is what happens. The layers, adjustment layer, with this little black and white things right next to it. This is called mask. What it is it's only affects the area that I have a selection I previously selected, and then nowhere else gets affected. If you are in RGB, it will affect the overall tone. If you go to individual channels, you can add. Green goes to the spectrum of green, and then the opposite of magenta. And if you like to add more to the coolness, you can go to blue or warms to make it even, neon green too. So you can start to create the color in the way that you like. And then if you like to have a little warmth here, there are lots of things you can do with that too. There is another selection you can make in here. You can keep working on this the same way. Excuse me. I should go into making another adjustment layer too, because I have a new selection. So I'll go to labels again. Now I have 2 of them on the layers palette. And then I can change the colors. I can change the color individually. It's going to be really colorful door, by the way. It's probably very important to go into start naming each layers, like top left door, so you know which one it is. And then this one would be top right door, because you're gonna have a lot of layers. So this is the simplest ones. I will go to Marquee Tool and Elliptical Marquee Tool to say select this circle area. You can simply click and drag and it will create the circle. If it is not overlapping, don't let go of your hand, but hold the space bar and then you can move this wherever you like. And then let go and you can color that in the same way. I'm going to go to labels again. Labels. And you can put some colors. I'm going to make it red. And I will go to RGB. Maybe I'll make it darker so that color shows up more. Right? Let's do this much together. I'm going to get rid of that one. And let's take a look at the tools, and then we're going to have some time together to work on this. First, what we did was to make sure to change the grayscale picture to RGB mode. So if you go to image from the top menu and mode, it probably says RGB, the grayscale, but you like to change that grayscale to RGB color so that you should be able to put some color in it. Okay, so make sure that your picture is RGB. Does it say RGB on the top? Just make sure that it says RGB. I went to image, mode, and then RGB. It probably says grayscale, but change it to RGB. Now your picture is ready to be colored. And here, let's use rectangular marquee tool and the elliptical marquee tool. I'll start with rectangular ones, the simplest one. I'm going to do overall area, the door, overall door area first. Make it and color that with something by going to adjustments. First few will focus on labels adjustment layer. If you are in RGB, that would darken or lighten overall tones, right? If it is lighter, it's hard to have color on, by the way. So you should have certain darker shade of tone in order to accept certain colors. And then after that, you can go to individual channels. under RGB and start applying colors.
You might have to make it lighter or darker to see the colors.
You can start putting colors on top, and you find it color blending possibly too. So you can do all of them inside of the door. Using levels. And you might have to make it lighter or darker to see the colors. You might have to go to different channels to have more of the intense colors too. So every time you make a selection, then you go to click onto levels. That would create a new adjustment layer with mask of the selected area. These things are not so difficult probably because it's nice and straight lines. When you do this coloration, you like to go really close, like at least 100%, if not maybe even closer, to see all the details. This file is pretty small file to begin with, so if you zoom in too much, then it gets pixelized and it's hard to see. But a photograph you choose to color should have enough pixels to color it.